what's up? I'm Ivan from BiltongMagazine.com. In this video, we will show you the Biltong box that we came up with starting from an IKEA closet. We'll show you step by step how to create it, which tools you need and which components you need to have your own Biltong box ready in no time. Stay tuned and we'll take you through the steps. As a first step, let's look at the components that we'll use. First off, it's the IKEA EKET wall cabinet with a glass door. We'll use a USB powered fan, we'll use mosquito nets to close the ventilation holes, and wooden dowels to hang the meat from. Also, we'll use a wooden corner profile to close the gap between the glass door and the cabinet. We can use washers to reinforce the attachment of the wooden dowels. Optionally, you can add some LED lights. This is not for heating the Biltong box, but it just makes it so much nicer. Now that we know which components we need, let's look at the tools that we need to create our Biltong box. We need a drill, hole saws to make the ventilation holes and the fan hole, a wood drill for the dowels, a glue gun, a wood saw, some screws, a screwdriver, some measuring tools, a miter box, a scissor, and a pencil. That's all we need. So let's get started. Now is the time to open the IKEA EKET box. In the box, we can find a manual, the 4 different boards, a backboard, and also a wall anchoring kit in case you don't want to use the wall mount. In this step, we will identify the panels of the IKEA EKET cabinet. These are the 5 panels included in the package. This panel is the back panel of the cabinet. You can see it's a very thin panel. Let's put this aside for now. The other panels are the main cabinet panels. These are the top and bottom panel. You can identify them by their plastic dowels. If you look closely, you can see that one of the panels has a number 1 on it. This number indicates the top panel. The other panel is the bottom panel. Let's put aside the top panel for now. Let's place the bottom panel on the center of our work table. So this is the left panel and this is the right panel. In a later step, we'll construct the cabinet like this. Make sure that you align the back panel's groove. On the right panel, we will drill a hole to fit the fan. On the left panel, we will drill 3 ventilation holes. Finally, we will drill 4 dowel holes on each side panel to fit the wooden dowels that will be used to hang the meat from. So first, let's start to measure on the right panel, and let's take away the left and the bottom panel for now. So this is the right side of the cabinet. This is the back side, this is the bottom side, and this is the top side. The fan will be mounted on the bottom of this panel. As we have this panel now, you are looking at the inside of the cabinet. We will measure on the outside. In order to measure, we'll turn over the panel, but be aware, now this side is the bottom side. The fan will be placed here at a 10 cm or 3.94 inch distance from the bottom. Let's put 2 markers in order to align our tape measure when we measure to identify the center of the panel. So align your tape measure and place a dot at 17.5 cm or 6.89 inch. This will be the spot that we will use to place our hole saw and drill the fan's hole. Let's now drill the fan hole using a hole saw. You can see we used carton to elevate our working spot. You can use anything as long as you have some free space under the panel's drilling area. This in order to not drill through your working bench. Make sure you can see the measured and indicated spot from the previous step. Now we'll take our drill, which has the hole saw attached to, and align the drill point with the measured spot on the panel. Once your drill is aligned correctly, you can start drilling, but make sure you put the hole saw level with the panel. And don't drill too fast to make sure the panel doesn't get too hot from the friction caused by the drilling. Also drill only halfway through the panel, as we will drill the remaining part from the other side of the panel. This in order to have as least chip paint as possible. So turn the panel and use the small hole to align your hole saw from this side. Now gently start drilling again until you feel you got through. If the whole piece isn't coming out yet, don't use force, but just turn over the panel again and gently drill again from this side. Once the whole piece comes out, you have your fan hole ready. We can now check if the fan fits and move on to the next step. Next up are the ventilation holes. We will now continue with the left panel, where we will add 3 ventilation holes. We placed both side panels next to each other to make sure we identify the bottom and the top side correctly. Just a quick visual check, and OK. Let's flip the panel, as that will be easier to measure. This now became the top side, and this is the bottom side. Let's put aside the right panel. Let's start measuring now. First off, we will start measuring 12 centimeters or 4.72 inch from the top. We'll measure this distance on 2 different spots so we can align our tape measure to those spots. Using the tape measure, we will mark the 3 drill holes which will be vital in the next step. We measure from the front side of the panel, and the first point we mark at 9.5 cm or 3.74 inch. The second one is at 17.5 cm or 6.89 inch. And the third point is at 25.5 cm or 10.04 inch. We can now start drilling the 3 ventilation holes. We have mounted the smaller hole saw of 3.8 cm or 1.5 inch to our drill, and we align it on the measured points. Make sure not to drill through, as we'll turn the panel and continue drilling from the other side. Every now and then, check if your drill head isn't filled with leftover wood. Clean it before continue drilling. You can use a screwdriver to do so. Once you drill through, we have our ventilation holes. An important part of our Biltong box is adding the 4 dowels to our box. Place both panels in front of you, with the inside facing up and the back side towards you. We will now measure the drill holes for our dowels. They will be drilled on the top side of each panel. So let's measure first 2.5 centimeters or 1 inch from the top of the right panel. Actually, make sure to start measuring from the top of the hypotenuse as indicated on screen. We'll again measure 2 separate points to align our tape measure. When the tape measure is nicely aligned on our 2 points, we place a mark every 7 centimeters or 2.76 inch. These are the 4 points which will be used to add the dowels to. We now do the same on the top side of the left panel. We will now drill the dowel holes on the indicated spots. While drilling, we'll make sure we don't drill through the panel, so be careful you don't add too much pressure on the drill. We mounted our number 10 wood drill bit as this size is just a little wider than the diameter of our dowels. Take the drill and align it on the first dowel point. Drill slowly as you don't want to drill through the panel. Do the same for the other 3 indicated points. And once it's done, take the left panel and do the same. Let's now make sure no insects enter our biltong box. We'll be adding pieces of mosquito nets to the holes. We like to add them on the inside and outside of the box. So cut 2 round or square pieces per ventilation hole to size and fire up that glue gun. Let's start with the right panel. Make sure the mosquito net sticks out a bit on all sides. After that, add some glue to 1/2 of the hole and attach the mosquito net. When it's dry, do the other half. Be careful as the glue is hot. Put the right panel aside and take the left panel. Once this side is done, we'll let it dry and continue with the outside of the right panel. And finally, we will continue with the outside of the left panel. Now it's time to measure our wooden dowels. We need 4 dowels of 34 cm or 13.38 inch long. We bought 1 long dowel with a diameter of 9 mm or 0.35 inch. Let's measure our first dowel and mark 34 cm or 13.38 inch on the dowel. On the indicated spot, we will saw our first dowel to size. Repeat this 3 more times in order to get the 4 needed dowels. Since the wooden dowels will carry our meat for days, we might want to reinforce the dowel holes in the box to carry this weight. This is an optional step, as normally the box should be perfectly capable of carrying the weight of the meat strips, but better safe than sorry. We can easily do that by using simple washers. The only important thing is that the dowels can fit through the washer holes. We will glue a washer to each dowel hole, which means we will use 8 washers in total. The easiest way is to use your glue gun and add some glue to the washer before placing them over the dowel holes. There you go, our biltong box is ready to carry some meat. We can now assemble the box. Make sure to put the side panels together with the top panel. Remember, the top panel has a number 1 indicated on its backside. Place it in the middle. The side panels should be placed next to the top panel with their dowel holes or their top sides closest to the top panel. Start by sliding the right panel onto the plastic dowels of the top panel. Give the right panel a push so it slides into place. Now we add the wooden dowels into the dowel holes of the right panel. Once they're in place, take the left panel and mount it on the plastic dowels of the top panel. In this step, make sure you also add the wooden dowels into the foreseen holes on the left panel. Once they are in place, slide the left panel firmly into place by adding some pressure while holding the top panel in place. Now we take the back panel. It's the thinnest panel we have and we slide it into the latch. Now take the bottom panel and make sure the latch is corresponding to the latch on the other panels. Align the plastic dowels of the bottom panel with the side panels and push the bottom panel down. With the IKEA cabinet came a little plastic bag containing some small plastic pieces to secure the back panel of the box. Just follow the IKEA instructions or look how we add them to the back side of the cabinet. It's time to install the glass door. Let's start by unpacking it. Now place the cabinet in front of you in its normal position, being top side up and bottom side down. In this step, you can decide which way you want the door to open. The choice is all yours, but depending on it, you will have to attach the hinges on the correct side. Once you've decided, place the side panel that will carry the hinges down on the table. So here we have our top side, our bottom side, and the left panel, where we will attach the hinges to. To do that, use the included plastic measure tool. Place it firmly against the top panel with the holes facing down on the left panel. Push it forward as far as possible on the left panel. Take a pencil to mark the holes. Do the same on the bottom side of the left panel. Once that is done, take the first hinge, align its screw holes over the indicated marks and add the screws. In case you have difficulties getting the screws in, you can use an awl or another pointy tool to puncture the holes first. Do the same for the other hinge. Once the hinges are attached, flip the box back into its normal position. Attach the included stickers to the glass on the spots where the hinges will be in contact with the glass. Have a look at the included IKEA manual, as we've seen different options in attaching the stickers in our previous cabinets manuals. Now you can add the glass door to the cabinet by sliding it into the hinges. Take your flathead screwdriver to gently secure the door with the screws on the inside of the hinges. Oh, and don't forget to attach the little door handle. With the glass door installed, you already have a good looking biltong box in front of you. As we don't want any insects intruding our cabinet and feasting on our meat, we will install some corner profiles to close the gap between the glass door and the inside of the cabinet. Here you can see the lengths we need for the corner profiles. We will miter saw them to fit them nicely together. Start by measuring the corner profile for the top. This profile only needs one side miter sawed, as the other one will connect to the cabinet door's top hinge. So we measure and put 2 marks at 29.2 cm or 11.5 inch and draw a line between these marks in order to easily saw at that spot. Place the profile on the miter box and align your line with the straight saw guide. Now start sawing, holding your profile firmly in place until you are through. Now you have to imagine how this profile will fit in the box to determine which side you need to miter saw. Imagine which way the door opens to know which side is at the hinges. This side needs to be miter sawed. Let's mark an X on the piece that needs to be sawed off. We now place the profile on the miter box and put the X facing down. Make sure to align the profile so it's sawed in the right direction. Continue to do the same with the other sides, keeping in mind that the right side profile needs 2 sides miter sawed and the left side profile none. Once all 4 profiles are sawed to size, we can add them in place by measuring 1.1 cm or 0.43 inch from the front of the panel to align the profiles. We start with the right side profile. We put a couple of glue dots on the longest side of the profile and attach it to the inside of the right panel, aligned to the measured points. Always close the door to check if the profiles close the gap as intended. The top and bottom profile can now use the side profile to align it during placing. Add some pressure to make sure they are firmly attached. Once all profiles are glued in place, add some screws to each of them to secure them. A very important step is adding the fan to the outside of our box. We will glue it in place by adding glue on the 4 corners of the fan. Once the glue is added, be swift with placing the fan over the big ventilation hole as the glue tends to dry fast. Make sure to cover the ventilation hole completely. Add some pressure to the fan to secure it. Feel free to add some extra glue to the sides. When the glue is dry, you can cut away the excess mosquito net. For adding some extra panache to our box, we'll add some LED lights. You have a couple of options. The main choice is, do we add a battery-powered LED strip or a mains-powered LED strip? The battery-powered version is the easiest, as you can attach everything on the inside of the box without external wires. For both solutions, you can guide and attach the LED strip with the self-adhesive side around the corner profiles. But first, for the mains power strip, we'll have to drill an extra hole to fit the power cable. We'll drill the hole on the same side as our fan to keep all wires together. Drill the hole, and in this particular case, we need to drill 2 holes next to each other as the LED connection is quite wide. Clean the drill spots by removing any excess wood chips. Glue a piece of mosquito net on both sides. Don't forget to make a small incision in order to be able to put the power cable through. Once the cable is through, we can connect it and install the LED strip. Now cut the strip to length on the indicated spots, but before doing so, disconnect it from the power supply. Our LED strip has a little control unit as it can be operated via Wi-Fi. We will glue the control unit to the outside of our box. This was the final step in finishing our Biltong box. Now you can test it by preparing your own Biltong. Just get your favorite recipe or start experimenting. You can watch our video to see how we prepared our first Biltong batch in this new box. Thanks for watching our video. Give us a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel to receive more of our videos.